Hi, welcome to Couch on Fire. My name is Erica Martin and I'll be your host. I'm a psychotherapist with 20 plus years experience, inviting you into conversations with fascinating people with unique stories to tell. So if you want to learn to dig deep, get the hell out of your own way, and live your best life, then you're going to love today's episode. And remember, you can spend your life putting out fires or setting your soul on fire. And the choice, my darling, is always yours. Hi, welcome to Couch on Fire. My name is Erica Martin, and I am here with Jordan,
Hello.
Who is a recent graduate, 2 years post-graduation, correct?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a little while now.
Yeah, and so you are working in the education field, but your background is actually in communications, right? So welcome, Jordan. It is so good to have you here.
I'm so happy to be here. It's been 2-ish years since we've seen each other.
I know. I know.
And we talk all the time, but it's not this.
No, so. And I have to say, you are one of my youngest that we're interviewing and having this conversation today. You always fall into that category because you're an old soul, and I always forget.
Yeah.
Your chronological age does not necessarily
I'm
coincide.
75 right now.
You are at least 75 years old. I would think so. You've outaged me because I'm only 20. But anyway, so you are definitely one of the most resilient people that I know.
Oh.
In fact, you survived getting hit by a bus, which we don't have to talk a lot about, but I think that's just an example of you've been through it.
You could say so, yeah.
You've been through it, and you tend to be able to kind of go on to the other side of it with like optimism, finding joy in things, but most importantly, you found your voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
You found your voice.
Yeah. I mean, it took a while, I think, for sure, but it's good to finally actually have it because I remember, I guess, as maybe a young teenager trying to always recognize where this voice I have now was. Mm-hmm. I think I could kind of feel it in a way, but it was never really there until I went through all of that adversity, I guess.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. Or maybe I just got tired of the bullshit.
Getting tired of the bullshit is one thing that can propel us toward making the necessary changes, right? Mm-hmm. So where do we want to begin? So, you are creative, you love writing, you love, like the fact that you chose communication as your field, I don't think is coincidental.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, it's,
because you had it in you.
Right.
But it was like there was a barrier in terms of preventing you to have your own voice because you were certainly so willing to give it to everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I always put everybody before myself. I would put myself to the side, a second priority, people pleasing, you name it, all of that.
The pathological people pleasing.
Yep. It was all there.
Yes. Where do you think that comes from? So let's talk a little bit, if you don't mind, about your history, because I say in all the episodes, like, we are where we come from, right? So we have a story.
Yeah.
Sometimes our stories will shape the life lessons, and we've had plenty of those.
Yep, for sure.
So tell us a little bit about you.
So as you know, we started my journey together when I was a junior year
I know, it's so weird,
school.
Right? Thank you for aging me. I really appreciate it.
But growing up, I guess, I've grown up in the same house my whole life. I have 2 older brothers, but one was adopted. And so he came into my life when I was about 10. And that's a big transition. Sure. And I guess even as a young girl, I always kind of just was tiptoeing around, not trying to cause an uprise or anything, or just I didn't want to upset anybody.
You wanted to keep the peace.
Right.
You didn't want to bring any negative energy into the house.
Yep.
Whether you knew that or not.
Yeah, and my dad was always stressed out. He's a lot better now, but there was a lot of shit to be stressed about. And I guess that just bled into every other aspect of my life. My friendships, later on my relationships, I would always put them before myself, even if they were a wreck. It would just, without thought, I would just put them there up top. It
was on the pedestal, right? Yeah. So it's like the automatic response of, I'm not practiced at prioritizing myself. I'm very practiced at prioritizing other people's needs. And you're super empathic.
Yeah.
which we did a segment with someone and we talked a little bit, not much, about being empathic. And at such a young age, that's what marvels me about you, right? And to say empathic, people are confused. Some people might even like poo-poo that, like, whatever. It's an excuse for bad behavior, and then to apologize, because I'm empathic. But you and I know better.
Yeah.
That it's really being a deep feeling person, very energetically sensitive to the needs of other people. So as a young kid,
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Lot to take on. Especially if you don't know what it is. I know you've experienced that yourself.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Just feeling all of this and then feeling all of the stress of everyone around you. And you're like, okay, is this mine or is this theirs? Or what's going on? So there was that. And then high school was hard for sure, because if you have friends that are just in their own world, which I did, and you want to please them and be there for them no matter what, that can start to take a toll on you when your cup just starts becoming less and less full.
Oh, that empty cup.
Yep.
That empty cup.
And so I think in high school kind of dabbled a little bit with speaking up and speaking out a little bit. But then COVID hit right at my spring of senior year. And
that was a really tough time for so many people.
Yep. It's hard. And that kind of just made everybody feel all out of whack, I guess.
What did that do? How did that impact you?
I was able to, I don't know if I was able to start anything new, essentially. I wanted to stay connected with my friends for sure. And I know that we were all trying to make the most of that summer, because it was our summer of graduation, which we didn't get. And we just tried to make a lot of memories. COVID for me, it really impacted a lot because it bled into my college career.
Yeah, your first year of school was not anything. Well, so your senior year, you kind of got ripped off, let's say, of the experience that most people would have. And then you go into your freshman year, same thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of virtual classes and things. So
everything. So senior year, we didn't have a prom, we didn't have a graduation, like all that spring stuff and fun stuff was gone. And then freshman year, you don't have like the in-person orientation, no in-person classes. It's a completely different world. Freshmen were the only people allowed on campus. And then, the surrounding area of college was just so dull and
like a little
lonely.
Ghost town, really.
And so, and then, you have to worry about whether you're exposed to COVID. You have to worry about the whole other side of it, the actual disease part of it, where you can't be in massive groups of people. You can't be around a ton of people without a mask. It's all of that.
It kind of puts a dent in dating. Yeah. Let's say that wouldn't be great for anyone, right?
No. And you have to go into the hallway with a mask on. It's so weird to think about now because it's been so long, but you couldn't leave your room without a mask on. And that's just so hard. Not only that, but to meet people. That's how you see their face. That's how you see their body language. So there was all of that, and then just a ton more.
Yeah.
So
there was a time that you had contracted COVID, if I recall correctly.
Yep.
And you were called into the nursing office at school. And, they asked you very matter-of-factly, and you being you were honest and said, hey, this, I was around this person.
Yeah.
And people were really angry with you.
Yeah, so Karen suits her well.
Yeah.
Well,
no offense to all the Karens out there, but okay.
This one in particular, though, she thought I had a vendetta or something out for her. She thought I was out to get her. And she told me that after we had talked, after the whole quarantine, we had talked, and she said blatantly she thought I was out to get her. And I was like, no, I'm just doing what the protocol said. I didn't let her know right away after I had told them I was in contact with her. But I don't know. I should have for sure, but that was just a flaw on my part. And then she got pissed off at me because she had to go into quarantine, because anyone you're exposed to and you give them that name, they're gonna make them go
and at
into
that
quarantine.
time there was a heightened threat because COVID was serious for a lot of people, so unknowingly You were just asked a question, you responded to that question, and you got a backlashing of shit from a lot of people for that.
I did. Yeah, that's so weird to think about now.
Well, there's a reason I'm bringing it up, young lady, because I think that was a turning point
one of the
for
starts.
you.
Yeah.
For you. How would you maybe look at that now in retrospect, all these years later?
I think with Karen, that one, she has something else going on because she just lashed out at me straight out. And then the other girl that was friends with her, Olivia, she lashed out at me as well. And then there was my roommate who was actually, she was trying to be the peacekeeper at the time. And I lashed out at her because I wanted her to side with me, but it was really just a bad situation in general. So I kind of made a hasty judgment and I cut her off too quickly, my roommate. And now I realize that, but when we were working together about it, I was pissed off for at least a good couple months.
Yeah.
And I was like, why didn't she take my side? Why wasn't she sticking up for me? But it really wasn't her spot to do so. She just was in the middle of a shitty situation. So I think that was the turning point because I was supposed to live with those girls the following year. And then I got into a completely different situation with other girls. And yeah, and then it goes on from there.
It goes on from there. So one of the biggest challenges maybe, and you could speak to this, tell me yes, no, maybe, is that in always being the peacekeeper, you had to suppress a lot of your own feelings, a lot of your own thoughts because you never wanted anyone else to be impacted.
Yep.
And then when this COVID situation happened, you couldn't push it down anymore.
No.
It all just started bubbling up for you. And I think for me, the turning point was when you're like, you know what? I can't continue on this path of worrying about everyone else, putting myself last. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's when I started hearing Jordan's voice, right? Good, bad, ugly, and different. It was real. It was coming out. You were giving yourself permission to feel.
Yeah. Yeah. That was definitely the start of kicking it all out and getting it all out in the open. I mean, I don't want to say it was a bad way to start, but it bubbled over the surface. All that rage just came out. And then I was able to kind of mold it from there. But I was so mad at how everything was handled and I was already isolated in general. And then I just ended up going home because of everything, how it panned out. And it was, I mean...
So we got some rage and some resiliency.
Yeah. It was a shit situation and it was just not... I mean, everything happens for a reason and I wasn't missing much because it was COVID and it was dead on campus. But it was so poorly just...
But that little girl in you, right? And we all have her.
Yeah.
That little girl was like, this is just all so tremendously unfair.
Yeah.
And when you called it rage, I'm so proud of you, right? Because when we are empathic and we're sensitive, tapping into that anger is scary because we also say it's bad.
Yeah.
Or it's not allowed to have a negative feeling, right?
Yeah.
That somehow is saying something negative about us. But the truth is, until you allowed that anger out, all those years of not being able to speak up and all those years of eating a lot of shit and dealing with a lot of shitty situations, you were just like, okay, can't do this anymore. No more. Not going to do it anymore. Can't do it anymore.
No.
And then something else happened. And like you started speaking up, but I feel like you also found like your power. You also found your faith. You also found comfort in like your intuition. It was no longer clouded.
Right. A lot was coming in and out. So sophomore year, I always say was the tamest year of them all.
I love that.
But I mean, then I had that whole thing with crew and the religious group, and that was just a whole other batch of trauma there. But then, I mean, with my sorority I was in, my big sister, who's supposed to be a role model, she just ghosts me. And that was another thing that just added on to my list. She ghosted me for no reason. So I was so mad about it. And I was sticking to my guns. I wasn't going to reach out. I mean, why should I? So that was another thing that kind of gave me that oomph and that strength, I guess, and just not caving to the other person.
For people listening today, do you think maybe some of the shifts that you had in these relationships was because you were no longer willing to be the people pleaser, going out of your way to give them what they needed when
Right.
there was a complete absence of what you needed. And I think that was a really hard life lesson for all of us. I had to learn it my own way too, right? It's that not everyone's meant to stay on the journey. There's a reason, a season, a lifetime. We hope that people are a lifetime. But when you realize that, like, you know, the relationships only worked because
so long.
because I was putting in the work.
Oh yeah.
When you stepped away from that and said, you know what, there has to be reciprocity.
Yep, yeah. You see a lot of the true colors come out, and the curtain kind of comes down, and then
Like the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah,
like, what's behind
quite
the curtain?
actually.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh wow, I was actually putting up with just a really lazy person that was kind of half-assing it, and I wanted it to be something more, whether that's a friendship or a relationship, and it just wasn't. And you know, like you said, a reason, a season, a lifetime. If it doesn't serve you anymore, then move on.
But there's always the lessons, right? Because
Yeah.
you now.
I was building those up in the back. For
Yeah, you
sure.
were. So feeling a lot of pain while going through this, a lot of like letdown, a lot of disappointment.
Yeah.
And so, you know, for people listening who maybe are in the same situation you are, and I'm sure there's many, right? I'm the empath, I'm the giver, I'm the people pleaser, when you get to that point where my cup is empty and someone's got to either help me fill it up or I got to give it to myself.
Yeah.
That's what I love for you. That's where your real like resiliency started shining. Like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'll fill up my own damn cup.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think junior year was that tipping point. Because I've said this to you many times, and the people who know me, my junior year of college was the worst one. So I think because I was in a toxic sorority, and I didn't know that until I had to live in the sorority house. And I was doing all this stuff for the sorority. I was taking pictures for them. Yet another example of pouring everything into something and getting nothing in return. I didn't even get thank you for the pictures. I ran for a leadership role. It was all biased. It was just a bad, toxic place. And it started to build up and up and up, and I couldn't take it anymore. And my mental health started to get worse because of it. So that's when I finally ripcord, yanked it out, and said,
Bolt
okay,
cutters.
yeah, I'm done. I dropped out of the sorority.
Deuces.
Yep.
Beep, beep.
Bye.
See you in the review.
Bye. And my mom, she helped me move out of there, and she stayed with me at school for a while when I needed her. She's the best. But
do you think
hard.
somehow going through what I know is a very painful, really, really painful time, I call it like the tower. It's like, you know, in tarot cards, like you have the tower, and people think the tower is really bad, and it certainly is painful and miserable to go through.
Yeah.
But it's like when all the false beliefs start tumbling down, and you're forced to see what's real. I think that's the hardest part about being in high school and being in college and being a young, you know, teen, 20-something, because we're so wanting to be part of our group, our peer group, or whatever. And then the espresso machine just went off. Sorry, everybody. We were having some coffee. We were having a taster's choice moment before the start. That you want to be part of it, that you lose, like you don't even think about who am I.
Yeah.
And then when you start getting a little older and you're like, okay, who am I outside of all the noise and nonsense?
Right.
So who are you?
Well, now, I mean, despite college, because, wow, that was a mess. And I was just trying to find my way through and finish with a degree.
And you did extraordinarily well academically.
Thank you.
Despite all you were really going through.
Yeah, so you're trying to take care of yourself, but then, I mean, I think my life was harder than my college classes were. So
well, I think you might be right. Well, I think they're both equally hard, but
right. But it felt that way at the time. I was trying to navigate through, and once I finally finished it, I think I was able to put aside all of the academics, you know, because I graduated and I was done. But I could finally focus on what was in front of me, and now I'm the kind of person that I'd say I'm confident now, or I'm getting there for sure.
That's right. That's
So,
right. And liking who you are.
right, right. And understanding who I am. And it's great. It's definitely a very powerful thing to have because I never had that before. I was always getting what other people told me. Oh, you're this person. Oh, you're bubbly and sweet. Well, now, yes, that's true, but I put up with less. I tolerate less. I can't be the person that you need me to be because you want me to be there at your convenience. I can't do that for you anymore.
How good does that
It
feel
feels
to say
great.
out loud? I'm looking at the little twinkle in your eye because
Yeah.
that was hard work. Like,
yeah.
people might be listening thinking like, well, how do you get there? Well, there's no recipe that you get there. I mean, it's like you have to start challenging some deep down belief systems that are really hard to let go of.
Trial and error.
Trial and error. And we will have those moments where we fail. But when we do eventually climb, it seems like climbing Mount Everest when we're trying to overcome any kind of emotional barrier, right?
That was Mount Everest.
It was for you. And the day you put that flag in the ground, it was like,
I got it.
that's my girl. She did it. She did it, right?
Yeah.
But you also started trusting your gut, trusting your intuition. And I'm going to take a little detour for a second so that people understand how important this is, right? Our gut never lies to us, ever. Our brain will lie to us all the time, right? But when we have all that noise and all that chatter and all that anxiety or all those situations that we're saying, we're not good enough, I'm not enough this or whatever, we're not listening to our gut. You've had amazing intuition since the day I met you, but you started realizing that for yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
You want to talk a little bit about that if you don't mind?
Yeah, I think it's definitely hard as someone who has anxiety and that brain and hamster wheel is always going nonstop.
Yeah.
But then it, as you say, it's the no. If I feel the no deep down, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is going to happen. Whether it doesn't have to necessarily be bad, but it's there. You can't explain it. You can't say why. It's just there.
Yeah.
And then when it does happen, you're like, oh, okay, I was right about that.
And that's the true intuition.
Right. And the repertoire goes up and it builds and you have that reference sheet. If you
the evidence. Oh,
right.
I was right that time. I was right that time. I was right that time.
So it just gives you more and more confidence as you go along and you're like, oh, am I right here? Is this maybe? And then if you are and it confirms that, then you get the confidence and it builds. So I think with my gut, I guess this one friendship, I mean, that one was really draining me and it's the most recent one that I've had to let go of. But I wanted it to be something it wasn't. And I was trying and trying and trying.
Oh, well, that's the great human condition, isn't it?
Yeah. And so it just wasn't what I had hoped. And it hadn't been for a while. I think I was just trying to hang on to something that was left, I guess. And
So when we have a history with someone, and sometimes maybe we know them to be one way, but it's because we were one way.
Yep.
We change. You're going to find that not everyone's going to be able to grow in the same direction, unfortunately.
And that was one where I don't think, maybe it was a mix of my gut and just my heart being really tired all in one. But that was one where I had to let go. I couldn't keep begging for breadcrumbs and the bare minimum that I wasn't even really getting that. And that was a hard one. We had gone through a lot of stuff together, a lot of loss and memories and happy memories, all of it. But I think knowing now that it's been, I guess, 6 months or over where we haven't spoken, I think I can see that it wasn't serving me. It was just draining me more and more. And that one, it's a somber kind of feeling sometimes, but it's also like, oh, I'm doing just fine too. So I guess all in all, it comes down to your heart and your gut too and what they need.
Oh, and sometimes they're so conflicted.
Oh, yeah.
But
they were connected to that one.
Yes, they were connected.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I can love, but I can love with limit.
Yeah.
Right? And sometimes I have to release it.
Yeah, and I still say, we have a tattoo together, and I have no ill will, and I still say, yeah, we have a tattoo together, we don't talk anymore, but she'll always be my girl. So, and I have no shame in saying that.
And who knows what the future holds.
Right.
You just know for right now where you are. Someone might hear this and be like, and forgive me for saying it, like, oh, she's just like had to get rid of a lot of people. What's wrong with her?
I know.
Right?
I think about that.
No, but the reality is, and we're in an empath group that I run, right?
Yeah.
The empath journey is lonely.
Oh, yeah.
You are not unique. That's why I want to point this out, okay? So that anyone listening,
Yeah.
I mean, you're being very open and courageous about sharing these experiences. And I want to make sure people take away the right message, which is that when you're empathic and highly sensitive and a people pleaser, it is not coincidental that the relationships you find yourself in as you start doing the work are usually highly toxic.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not unique to you.
No.
And sometimes when we realize in doing our work, like, oh my God, it's always been this way. There's like these people, Karen, whoever, they're not unique,
No.
right? What changed was your willingness to participate in toxic relationships.
Right. How much I could hold it together, I guess, or withstand. It wasn't a lot. After it kept happening, I was like, yeah, this is just not.
Yeah, but but it's such a good thing for people to understand that energetically we attract, right?
Yeah, but why?
I know that's always the million question.
Why? I mean, my dad's that way too. He would tell me, oh yeah, when I was younger as a teenager, I would attract a lot of not broken people,
Wounded
but
birds.
outcasts. Yeah, they would just go to him because he's a vibrant soul and spirit, and always wanted to help people. I get that from my dad and my mom, and you're like, okay, you'll help him out, but then you start wondering why.
Well, because empaths are a light. I mean, and they do really when you come fully into your power, right? You start living like most authentically. There's nothing more attractive
Yeah.
than and think about anybody that you like look up to or you've looked up to over the years. There was something about them that was just like, oh, they're real. They hold some beautiful energy. They got a twinkle in them. Like you can't even explain it, but you know, like, oh, I want to be in the energy and the presence of that person. That's why they gravitate toward you.
Great. Lucky me.
Well, yes, lucky you.
Yeah.
Because now you have boundaries.
I do. I can thank all of it for, yes, having boundaries. And I say this, I guess, I don't know if anyone's directly asked me this before, but I wouldn't change my college experience. I feel like my mom's asked it to me before, but I wouldn't change it because everything happens for a reason. And if it didn't happen the way it did, I wouldn't be who I am now.
Absolutely.
Everything in between and every little moment, sad, happy, you name it, it's shaped me and gotten me to who I am now. And without that, I don't know what I could say. And yeah, it sucked, but I'm grateful for it for sure because the person I am now is strong. And I definitely would not have been able to say that with confidence, I don't know, 2-3 years ago.
Boom.
Yeah.
You are strong.
Yeah. So.
And you're free.
Yeah. I've never felt lighter. I've never felt more level-headed, more balanced. There's nothing really stressful going on in my life. I mean, yeah, there's
life is stressful.
Right. But no one is stressing me out. I'm not begging for anything. I'm not asking too much from anyone. And it's great. I mean, this is like the golden state of mind right here.
Because you know you can give it to yourself.
Yes.
You're no longer
Right.
relying on external sources
Right.
to be your power, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I don't give my power away anymore.
Yeah.
I might lend it.
Right.
I'm happy to share it.
Yeah.
But I can't give it away. I
Yeah.
can't allow something outside of me to have that kind of control over my life.
Right. And that just, the fact that it kept happening, I mean, like you say, the universe will tell you something a million times until you get it. I don't know if that's what it was.
You're going to learn that damn lesson one way or the other. You are.
Yeah. And it wasn't always on a pretty silver platter, but it happens the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
And
the best gifts come in the ugliest packages.
Yeah.
I tell you that. I tell everybody that all the time.
Yeah. And I'm glad it happened the way it did because I just, looking back at, say, 15, 16-year-old self when I first started therapy to me now, not the same person, and that's how it's supposed to be. And she doesn't have the voice I have now, and I wish she did, but I'm glad I have it now.
And you got her now, right?
Right.
You're protecting
Yes.
that. All right, honey, come here. I know what you've been through.
Come here. Let's go get pancakes.
Yes, let's go get pancakes, right? It's acknowledging that we hold all those parts of ourselves. People get like, what the hell does that mean? But it's like that little girl's still part of us. The
Right.
teenager's still part of us. I'm a little significantly older than you, so I have more parts of me. But I honor their story. I honor what they went through. I honor what they had to say. And I'm also like, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. I know what you've been through, girl. You've been through a lot.
Yeah.
I'm going to protect you now.
Yeah. And I was reluctant to do that inner child work
I don't.
for a
Everybody
little bit.
is. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I don't blame.
But I mean, I don't, because it seems silly at the time when you're talking about it and you're like, oh, hold your little kid's hand. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah. I remember when I first went through it, I was like, okay.
Yeah. But it means so much. If you're not willing to do, I mean, that work aside, if you're not willing to do the other work too, you're just going to be lost in that space, in my opinion. And I'm always someone who wants to learn and wonder and question. And if I didn't do the work, I would still be questioning and wondering and maybe even have a victim mentality. And I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be, why is everyone out to get me? No, I've been around those people. They're miserable. And if they just do the work, maybe they could figure out a lot more.
Could you help me with something?
Yeah.
For people listening, they're like, what the hell is the work? What the hell is therapy, right? Because, you know, there's this concept, right? And especially people your age might be a little more resistant, or your 15, 16-year-old self for first walking in the door.
Right.
Can you maybe tell them what that felt like? Were you jumping for joy? Like, oh, so glad to be doing this? Or
no, I was not joyful. I wasn't reluctant, but I think I really, really needed it. I was in a bad headspace in high school, and I had a lot of sadness in my heart that I had to get out somewhere. And I didn't want to keep carrying it. And that's when all of it started to begin. And I was still young and ignorant and attracting all the wounded birds. But come each one, I started to get a little bit better at it. I started to have my boundaries set in place a little bit more. I was not reluctant, but it was hard. It was hard to talk about. And I mean, it's not as stigmatized now, but it is in some ways.
so sad.
Yeah.
It's so sad. It's an ego thing.
Yeah.
It's a pride thing. And we all go through that when we start the process, right?
Yes, but I don't think I had the ego as much as I just wanted to feel better.
Yeah.
I was in a really low place. I was skipping school, and you knew that. And
I was one of the only people that knew that.
yeah.
Her secret is now out.
It is. I graduated college, though.
Yes, with honors. She's amazing. All right, guys.
Yeah, but high school, I was just so done with everybody around me. And then that just bled into my classes. And my mom wasn't working at home at the time. I would just go home. I would just be in bed. And it had to stop. I had to start changing. Mm-hmm. And
you did.
I did.
You did something about it.
Yeah, it was all becoming super unhealthy. And I started bit by bit gaining those tools from my toolbox, and then college rolls around, and that's what I said earlier was a whole other game. But yeah, it was good to start it for sure.
And people might be afraid, and I think we might say that you struggle with, I don't want to let go of control, and that's, we all do. That's so human, right? But it's like when you feel like you have to relinquish control, whether that is, well, what if something comes up I can't handle? What if I have some emotion I can't handle? What if the truth of something shows up that I can't handle, right? And the reality is you're already handling it.
Right.
It's already in there.
Right. And I was able to discover that I had, still do, anxiety. And then just
You're not alone.
Being able to get the resources, what I needed for that was a huge game changer. And then just being able to decipher and navigate through each little thing on my, like, with your help, but then starting to do it on my own.
Most important, right? That's the whole point.
It helps you so much, and you realize there's so much power in that. There's so much vulnerability.
Ooh, who are you?
Well, I hated being vulnerable, and you would always tell me there's strength in vulnerability, and now I can fully stand by that. It's just you're like, it's almost as if you feel like you're, I don't know, without a winter coat on a really, really cold day, and you're like, oh, why am I out here? Why didn't I bring my coat? But you have to let go of the coat. You have to peel back the layers. You have to do it all. And it's worth it. It's worth it. I mean, you discover so much about yourself that you might never have even known about. And I don't want to be someone that's just unwilling and closed-minded. I mean, that's not the person I am. That's not who I'm meant to be.
No, ma'am.
And I hope I can guide other people to find their true self, for sure.
I think in this moment you just did that.
I hope so.
I think in this moment you just did that. And to be so brave is to come on here and share your story.
Yeah.
And talk about how relationships can be challenging, and that sometimes making the decision to choose yourself first is anything but selfish, because now you're in a position to really show up and be there for people in a way that you feel proud of and honors who you are.
Yeah.
And a lot of people out there are probably still stuck in the pathological people pleasing and don't understand why people keep letting them down, or people can't show up, or people can't. It's not a reflection of you. It's a reflection of that need to make everybody else okay.
Yeah. And at some point or another, I mean, I hope it doesn't get this way for other people, but I got so tired. My energy was gone. And if it gets to that point, that's a breaking point. You either go one way or you go the other.
Yeah.
So I decided to go the other way.
And I'm so glad you did. I'm so glad you did.
Yeah.
So if your little girl, all cutie patootie as she is, tell me about her again. I have this visual always. What does she look like?
So she's got a little kind of bowl cut with bangs.
I can't even imagine that.
It wasn't a bowl. It was like a little bob.
Yeah.
I mean, I would wear like pink on pink. And she's got a cheeky smile. She's got rosy cheeks, big brown eyes, and just excited about the world. Gives everybody the benefit of the doubt, believes good in everybody. So she's still innocent, and she's still there and wholesome for sure. And she's just having a grand old time.
What would she say right now about you being here today, doing this? How is she feeling?
Wow. She would probably say, oof. She would probably wonder like, oh, I didn't know all this was going to happen, but I'm glad you're here. I think you deserve to be here and say all this and speak out. She would just support me. I can just see it. She would give me a big old hug. She might be a little confused about the journey ahead, but she would just be like, oh, okay, cool. And then like, hey, can we have some ice cream now?
Maybe we will have some ice cream right now. And big hug to you and your little girl who's worked so hard.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't be here if she wasn't cooperating.
Yeah, she's happy for sure.
She's proud of you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm proud of both of you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, I love you so much. Give me a hug. Oh, you're the best. Hi, thanks for joining us here at Couch on Fire. We appreciate you. If you like what we stand for, hit that like button, crush that subscribe, and feel free to leave commentaries below that we can use for future episodes. Thanks for watching. See you next week.